Check 1, 2, check. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Coffee with Father James. I am drinking from my Latvian crushed paper mug, except it's actually not made of paper, it just looks like it. Well, this crushed paper motif evoked a hope in me that, the report that we gave you last week will not be reduced to crushed paper. Maybe dog-eared, yes, because it's been read so much. I'm speaking of our annual Stewardship of Treasure report, which we distributed not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before. So hopefully it's on your coffee table and you're getting a chance for the whole family to be entertained by this reading. Because we spoke that week about being informed, and I hope you found this to be helpful. I just wanted to follow up, now that the preaching series, the annual preaching series on giving has ended. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your forbearance, your perseverance, your patience with that. It's it's not necessarily my favorite 3 weeks of the year, and you were very gracious. I received the least amount of complaints ever. Only kidding. I actually don't think we had any complaints, which is great. So, but it is a tricky one to do, especially when there's so many things to talk about in terms of the spiritual life, the church, mission, the gospel. But as I said in one of the weeks, every family has to sit down at least once a year to talk about the budget. And we are the family of God. So thank you for that. And if any of you watching missed any of those, the links to the homilies are below in the show notes. It was week 1 when we looked at the question of why we give, how we give to support the mission, not to pay the bills. And I asked the question of our people, when you think of your role in the church, are you an owner or a customer? Because that will shape how we give. And the following weeks, we looked at the question of how. In the second week, we looked at how our giving should be informed, because we want necessary information. Because the third week, we looked at the other ways about how we should give. And the second principle is that it should be intentional. So if we're going to be intentional, it means we're going to be making decisions. We want people to be making informed decisions. That's why we had this annual report. And in line with how we also looked in the third week of how our giving is it should be intentional. It should be proportional. How the value of our gift is not the dollar amount, but the proportion to what God has given us. I mean, you think of the story of the widow's mite, or the widow with the small coin, and how she gave more than all these other rich guys. So that's an important principle. Proportionality. We give proportionally. We looked at the principle of first fruits, how we give to the Lord first, because the Lord actually has given us everything. And we even looked at the biblical principle of tithing as well. So those are some of the principles around how we give. And ultimately, the question of what we give, that's between you and the Lord. Well, maybe you, the Lord, and your spouse. Yeah, probably. So that's the Holy Trinity. So thank you for all of that. And I just want to say in follow-up, I want to point out 2 things. One is, you may remember in the report, we indicated that we had a goal that we would continue to move the way that people give towards pre-authorized giving, and how in 2024, 45% of our giving was through automatic means. Actually, more than that, we had 14% online or e-transfer. So that's actually 59%. But in terms of automated giving that is automatic, it's 45%, and how we wanted to try to get that up to 50%, because that just gives us a more predictable, steady flow of income. And besides, it's the way that we generally pay our bills in everyday life as well. It'd be really, really wonderful if you could consider making that particular shift. It makes a big difference to us. And just a reminder that you can do that by filling out this form that came with the Stewardship of Treasure report and can be found at the back of the church. One final piece around that are these cards that we give out. It says, collection card, I support our parish with an online gift. And this is for the collection. You drop this in the collection basket. And you may say, well, I don't need to know that. I'm not worried if people sitting beside me think that I'm like Mick Scrooge or something because I don't give anything. I don't seem to give anything in the collection. I'm secure enough. And good for you. That's wonderful. But here's the thing. We are called to encourage one another. And it's just very encouraging to see someone drop something in the collection, especially if it's one of these. In fact, the more people who drop these in the collection, perhaps the more people will drop these in the collection, if you get my drift. And I want to point out one other thing is that the offering, the collection is part of our worship. And this is think about it, this card that comes from your hand into the collection basket gets carried to the altar and is part of that offering. Sacrifice is an essential part of worship. And so it is a concrete expression of our giving and is very, very helpful. So please make sure you use these. So thank you. We are facing challenges, as we talked about in the second week, but we're moving in the right direction. It's very, very encouraging. We give not to pay the bills, we give to support the mission. And what a mission the Lord has given us. And that mission is taking root in the heart of our parish and is beginning to bear some tremendous fruit. And I'm so excited to see what is in store for us. So thank you. Thank you to all of you who support the mission through your financial gifts, through your ministry, the time you serve in ministry, and through your prayer for our parish. God bless everyone. Take care.